swap these in the 3rd gens, right? It's just motor wiring harness.
Yep.
Does all the stuff on the gauges work, like RPMs and everything?
There's 2 approaches people do. A lot of people take the opportunity to go ahead and run another ECU and do a piggyback with the original ECU. But you can run the Celica ECU, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert could give you all the gory technical details. The one in the green MR2.
Yeah, that's such a clean car, man.
Oh, he loves his cars clean. I respect him for it. I feel like I'd go crazy though.
Always.
Hey.
Always.
Oh, they're probably gonna pull over. Or actually, never mind. That's a. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Based.
My only complaint with this car is since it's not my normal fun car, I haven't spent big money on brakes, so I always have to just kind of ease into corners until I feel like the confidence is there.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't want Fade to catch you off guard.
No.
My car has good brakes and it has good power, but it's so obese. So in order to keep up with small cars, it has to work so much harder.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I've got a an F80 M3, which is on paper like a way better car.
Yeah.
But because it's so big and heavy, it's a lot to manage. Like in some ways, I would rather enjoy a non-ABS stock brake car, just because it's so much lighter and tossable.
I know. Wait, there's one thing that Autocross has taught me, and it's that the best thing a car can be is light.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it makes everything work better. Your brakes, your tires.
And there's no better argument for that than the fucking guy who comes to our Autocross in a shifter cart and crushes it every time.
Yeah.
Like, they'll have best time of the day 90% of the
carts,
time.
Man, those things are, I've never driven one, but I've just seen they are such a handful.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because they just, if you're not careful, they just go right around themselves.
Yeah. I mean, that guy who does it at ours is nuts, because our venue is shit. Like, it is such horrible asphalt. Like, that guy is regularly, like, jumping 4 inches in the air.
Jeez, just catching air.
Yeah, but he puts down good times for it, though.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, some of those carts are doing like 60, 70 miles an hour, which is, it's like you're 2 inches off the ground, man. That's just insane.
Yeah. Also, North Carolina open container laws are dumb, because I would have had the Trulies, I would have had them seat belted in, but they have to go in the trunk legally.
Oh, because they're trash or open or whatever?
Yeah, because they can't be within reach of somebody operating the vehicle, and you could argue that the back seat's in reach.
Yeah, it's got to be like it's kind of like transporting a gun. It's got to be like in a separate compartment kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, yep.
If they're unopened, it's totally fine. But yeah, if it's just like empty trash, then
yeah.
That is a way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't see if she gave him a point buy or not. She probably didn't.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think they know what a point buy is.
Yeah, I mean, Harley people, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah. This is why it pays to be a night owl.
Yeah. I almost, like, my favorite times to run the road are like in the evening. Maybe not even at dark, but like, you know, just before dusk. Yeah. Because, you know, generally, like, a lot of people that are from out of town or even from like Maryville, Knoxville, stuff like that, they're generally all going home, you know, about 4 or 5 o'clock. So from like 5 or 6 o'clock on, it's mostly just like locals. You'll get a few people like this, but not like in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've driven on the road since I redid the pavement. It's glass.
It's crazy. Although gravity cavity lost a little bit of its character.
Oh.
Yay!
Those are such great cars.
Yeah.
Way expensive, but great cars.
Know. For MSRP though, they're great.
So is your car a V? I thought I saw the V badge on there.
It's a V Sport, so it's a twin turbo V6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the step in between the full V.
Yeah. Well, for GM, in their infinite wisdom, made 3 luxury sedans that were only differentiated by like 200 pounds each. So they made an ATS, a CTS, and an XTS, and only the CTS got the V. The other ones got V Sport versions.
But even the modern Vs, aren't they also twin turbo V6? No V8s anymore?
I think the Blackwing is a twin turbo V8.
Okay, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
But I don't know if that was in like 2020, 2021, 2022. I haven't been up to date with it recently.
I've always liked the ideas of is yours automatic or manual?
Yeah. Oh, mine. I wish they came in manual, but they don't.
Oh, they don't.
Yeah, they.
Is that just automatic. The Blackwings now, or are the Blackwings all automatic too?
I think they're manual. They have an option to be manual. They actually have. I think they were one of the few OEMs that actually did flat foot shifting for them, which is just hilarious and awesome.
Neat little technology party trick for sure.
I know, just
keeps the power where it needs to be.
I know, it's fun, but that's something that, that's something that you see a lot of tuners do once they get a standalone. They just add all the features they can. But you don't see it a lot on OEM cars, unfortunately.
It's so crazy how smooth this road is now.
I know.
It almost like...
Totally glass.
Yeah. It can be, when the road's so smooth, especially when it's like fresh pavement, it can be almost like deceiving.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because like the roads that have like a little bit of imperfections and stuff like that, they give you more feedback. So you're like, okay, like, here's that little ripple.
Yeah.
But when it's so smooth, it's like...
Yeah. They give you extra feelings of speed.
Yeah.
Because now you only get wind noise. It's transitory. It's only there for like a foot or two, right?
Well, something I'll be curious to see is... uh-oh.
Yeah. Poor boy.
Where's the bike at?
I don't know. Well, I'm glad he's walking.
Yeah. Second and fourth synchro grinds. Gotta love it.
That's the real reason you need a loud intake and exhaust.
Yeah, what grind? I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. that's the weird thing. Like, if you read online, I don't think anybody has good things to say about any transverse transmission manual. Like, it's...
I'm like actually okay with this I mean, this one's got miles. The whole car's got miles.
Yeah, is this a CE56 or whatever?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
I mean, as far as like driving it, I mean, I'm just happy that it's the 6-speed, not the 5-speed that comes in the GTs and the. Don't the third gens, I think, come with a 5-speed normally?
Yes. Yep.
I don't think they have a 6-speed unless you swap in. This transmission.
People swap in the 6-speed all the time.
Yeah, I know people will swap this one in, and then I think I forget the name of it, but like the one that's out of the TC.
Oh.
The last 2 generations of it.
Weird. Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but I helped my friend rebuild his C60. Fred bought his MR2, the silver one, and within like 100 miles of having it, the pressure plate just exploded.
Oh yeah. And is that the one he posted on the group?
Yeah, I think. But the pressure plate just totally exploded.
Yeah, it looks like it just like the little rivets or whatever it is just completely just yeeted themselves.
Yep.
They're like, sorry, we quit.
And it destroyed his bell housing.
Well, I'm sure, because it probably just turned into a freaking chainsaw in there.
Yeah. So, this car sat for a few months, but he got the motivation to put it back together.
Every time I like actually drive this car, I'm like, man, I really need to just spend a couple $100 on some brake pads.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, just brake pads and fluid would probably be all that I need.
Oh yeah.
For what I use this car. This is really just like the fun daily driver.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's like, you know, you always say like, never modify the daily.
Yeah.
And then it just starts with one little thing and then one little thing. And
but
then,
I mean, brake pads, come on, that's just maintenance.
And then of course I'm like, oh yeah, well now I'm gonna put like EVC pads on. It's just like, no, I don't need to do that, because those are just gonna dust up like crazy, and then I'm gonna hate having to wash it all the time. Because these don't dust at all, for better or for worse. I mean, that means there's not really braking happening.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know. It's hard, because like, you have to make, between every man and nature, you have to make an agreement with how much dirtiness you're willing to accept.
Right.
Everything becomes dirty. Everything that is clean becomes dirty, because the flow of time is irreversible.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, you were talking about like earlier about like car purchase and stuff. I've always been a big fan of like, have something that's reliable. You know, it doesn't have to be something boring. You know, like a Camry. I mean, that's a great car, but it doesn't have to be something that's lifeless. But daily driver.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
It's incredible. Nice 4Runner too.
Yeah.
Woo! Right there on Gravity County.
I know.
A little bit of front wheel spin there.
Yeah. Do these come with LSDs or?
You know, I don't know. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I feel like somebody's gonna ask me that question. I actually don't know. I don't think that they do, but I could be wrong. This one's a 2000, so it's one of the earlier ones. I feel like, you know, in Toyota's infinite wisdom, it would be like something they would only do in like 2003. You know,
they'd be like,
up.
We have to make a reason for somebody to. We have to make them pay off for waiting, right?
Yeah. They always had a little mid-cycle refresh with like slightly different headlights and tail lights, and oh yeah, we're gonna update the suspension geometry, and oh yeah, we're gonna bulletproof the motor now.
Yeah. Or fix the glaring design flaw in most cases.
Yeah. This car is interesting because I didn't like specifically go out looking for this car. It was kind of like an opportunity. And I found out after the fact is, you know, I was like, I like my Toyotas. I'll drive a Celica every day just for fun, you know. I ended up loving it way more than I would have thought. It's just a way better car than I ever gave it credit for.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a great daily option as long as your kids aren't too big.
Yeah. But then I found, I was like, all right, so like the first couple years, you know, the sunroofs, the ones that had it, which is most of them, you know, they use plexiglass, which fades and hazes up and, you know, stuff like that, but it's way lighter than the glass ones. So later on they put glass. And then apparently in these first 2 years, it's kind of I think it's somewhat like the S2000s, where you technically have like a little bit more RPMs.
Yeah.
Like 500 more RPMs of max, you know? Yeah. So it's like, you know, a lot of people were saying there's not really an advantage or disadvantage to the earlier or the late years. Yeah. Like, just get the one you want. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, naturally you end up getting the 2000, you find like the 2000 is the one that has like all the problems, but
yeah,
thankfully that wasn't what I found.
Yeah. And I mean, too, if you're gonna bump the red line up on these, you're probably gonna want to put in an oil pump gear and do all the other extra crap. Like having an extra few RPM from the factory is not gonna be the make or break, you know?
Yeah. I've always heard that these, like the 1ZZs and the 2ZZs, they definitely have their issues.
Yeah.
So I did do a couple things on this one for like bulletproofing. You know,
yeah.
The 2ZZs don't have any baffling in the oil pan.
Yep.
Which is like their big issue.
Yeah.
And so I took a 1ZZ. I work at a Toyota dealership, so I get parts for cheap.
Oh, that's sick.
So I took a 1ZZ oil pan, and I had some of the guys that work trim out where the pickup would go.
Yeah.
And then install that one. Because it does have some baffles. It's not like as crazy as like the
Moroso, yeah.
But I really didn't want to spend like $400 or $500 on a freaking massive. I'm sure it's better. Like, don't get me wrong, but I could get the oil pan for like $100, and then I paid the guys like $100 to trim it and install it. And I didn't have any leaks, but it still is not a bad idea to have a resealed oil pan. You know?
As long as you've got some way of knowing the pressure, you're fine, right?
Yep. But I was like, I feel like that helps, and then I did which apparently mine were fine, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But I did the VVTi bolts.
Oh yeah.
The updated ones with the longer needle.
Yeah. Did you have any? Did you have any cam wear?
They look good actually.
Okay.
Everything. There wasn't even like, you know, some engines get like that bronzing and all that. From, no, the guys that were in there said, yeah, even when, because I asked them, I was like, be real, I was like, how do the bearings look?
Yeah.
And they were like, honestly, they were like, there's no obvious scoring. I mean, I'm sure they're worn. But they were like, yeah, it looks like you got a pretty healthy engine. I was like, that's good, because I've got, you know, 190-some thousand miles on this car. So it helped. This car was traded into the dealership that I work at, and the lady was the second owner, but she'd had it for probably like 140,000 miles.
Yeah.
And every little thing was done at the dealership.
Wow.
So I was like, all right. And she was like, just a car enthusiast in the way that she just liked having a fun car.
Oh.
Wow.
That's weird.
And wanted to have a manual, but she like wasn't performance driving it, you know?
Yeah.
Had oxidized paint and all this kind of stuff. Like, she wasn't into cars.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I feel like this is the